sometimes when you know a movie's going to have a sequel, and obviously all Bonds are sequels, this is set up for a sequel in such a nice, not hitting you over the head way. And I don't mean so much the sequel, like the story. The story is going to continue, but it's like a welcome, like
pivot.
Say hello to these new characters.
Right.
And when you get to the next movie, you're going to appreciate the history that they've set up in this one.
Totally. And he's going to have an Alfred, I think. You know. Don't you think he's going to have, like Alfred has joined, he's going to be
his Q?
No. Don't you think Albert Finney is going to... I feel like Albert Finney is going to be like his manservant living with him. That's what I'm just going to guess.
I really liked that we got to know his backstory a bit, about his childhood and where he came from. And the whole section in Scotland is so gorgeous and so differently gorgeous.
And not done in the flashback.
No.
Which I liked. I mean, good. They just told us.
And I will say, for those purists of the story, it remains true to what hints you get about Bond's early life, and then adds a little bit to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was cool. And when we got introduced to Albert Finney, even though I knew Albert Finney's in the movie, right? And it's late in the movie.
I saw him in the credits, and then I forgot that he was going to be in it.
Right. So I have this moment and it's a big moment when you reveal somebody. So it's a guy from Bond's past, and we're revealed to him at a sort of a critical moment in the movie, and it's very dramatic. You see Bond talking to him first, or you hear him, and then he's shot from, I think, behind. You don't know who it is, and for a brief moment, full well knowing that Albert Finney was in the movie, I thought, it's going to be Sean Connery. I got so jazzed up. I was like, it's going to be Sean Connery. It's Albert Finney. Right.
Which I hear rumors that they had asked him to do.
Say what?
I'd heard rumors that they'd asked him to make an appearance.
Well, it seems like he would have been this would have been the part he played.
But wouldn't that feel so much like the third Indiana Jones movie?
Oh God, yes, you're right. But look, if we're talking spoilers, I mean, let's cut to the chase here. Yes, they kill M, and Judi Dench really gets. It's almost like she originally signed on to this with the promise that her last movie was going to be a bunch about her, and she was going to get a lot of scenes and a lot of things to do, and get to create nail bombs and act the shit out of this thing, and that's what they do. And they really, it's a great send off for her, and then a lovely setup for the next M.
And similar to the vulnerability within Bond himself, like she's a little skittish and doesn't necessarily have all the answers. She's a little nervous, and I like that about her.
And I think it's The World Is Not Enough that is the one where she gets kidnapped. The one with Pierce Brosnan.
There's a string of 8 Bonds, all of which I've seen, all of which I could talk about if I look at them first. But your ability to go, I think it was in The World Was Not Enough. There was a Die Another Day when I'm like,
because I just got the Blu-ray box set of all the movies.
Is it like the Pierce Brosnan one?
That's the Pierce Brosnan one where she gets kidnapped and he has to go save her. And the peril that they put her in this, it's not as well done as it's done in this one. Right? In the new movie, in Skyfall, you really buy it much more. When they do it in The World Is Not Enough, you're like, oh yeah, that's kind of an interesting plot twist, but you don't really care. This one, and I think that's the difference with Sam Mendes as a director, you really care in this one.
There's a moment right in the beginning of the movie that I think sets up the idea that this is going to be a different kind of Bond and more character driven. I don't remember a scene where Bond has to make a really difficult moral choice so starkly, and where we see, and one of the great things about Daniel Craig is his ability to pull it off, and basically he's got to either let an agent die, who he clearly likes, or continue chasing a bad guy who theoretically could kill more people. But still, it's a very personal moment when you got to leave a man on the battlefield, and he's being told to, and whether he does it or not, I thought was right off the bat. Like
in the very beginning.
Right in the very beginning, within the first 2 minutes of the movie, you're left with this.
And sets up
you're like, oh shit, and then he,
and sets up the way M deals with that as well.
Totally, and leads to her because she has to stay in whether he leaves that guy or goes on. I don't know. That was all un-Bond-like and very sort of.
And it does it raises the whole issue that whether it's war or whether it's just these sort of espionage things, it's very different to be the person in the field pulling the trigger, doing the stuff, and to be the person sitting in MI6 with a headset, watching it all on a screen and saying, "Do that."
Totally.
Yes, I know. We don't talk about your past as a soldier for hire, but I know you have the nightmares. This is it's an amazing movie and I among the best Bonds, no doubt.
I agree.
Yeah, go see it.